you see my screen? Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Okay. So today we will discuss about the Amazon Relational Database Service, right? Right. So it's a RDS, right? And let's understand the. Actually, this is the AWS database service. So let's understand the what is actually data first, right? So, what is data? In a simple word, data can be a fact related to any object, right? And what is database? So, database is a systematic collection of data. A database support storage and manipulation of data, right? And then let's understand the relational database or SQL database, right? There are actually two database like relational database and non-relational database or SQL database or no SQL database, right? So what is relational? From that name, like relational means it's relate. Actually it's relate in the database. Actually in the database it's there is a table, right? The table is row and column based, right? And in relational database the table are connected to each other, right? Suppose means how it's connected. It's connected a primary key. We can say one primary key is there, and this primary key is connected to one table to another table. Let's understand what is the primary key, right? So let's take an example of a bank database, right? So in a bank database, the unique number is the account number. Bank account number is the unique number. So in this unique number, it's actually connected to the one table to another table, right? So let's understand the definition. A relational database that allow you to link information from different table or different type of data bucket. Popular example of a standard relational database includes Microsoft SQL Service, Oracle Database, MySQL, and IBM DB2. Right. So, if somebody will ask you like which database is faster, means the SQL database or no SQL, then the answer is the no SQL database, right? Because actually SQL database is what the create a link, right? Create a link one table to another table, means and when we will fetch the data it will search like this, then it will less faster, right? The SQL database is the less faster than the no SQL database, right? So the faster database is NoSQL database. So what is the NoSQL database? NoSQL database is the non-relational database store data without a structured machine to link the data from different table to another, right? And it's actually not relate to any table. It's completely different, right? So popular example of the data relation non-relational database is the MongoDB, DynamoDB, Redis. These are in the non-relational database, right? So let's see the AWS relational database, right? So this is our main topic. Oh, AWS relational database. What is the AWS relational database? AWS relational database is a managed relational database service that make it easier to set up, operate, and scale and relational database in the cloud, right? So it is the one of the service of AWS, right? And it's completely managed by the AWS. Means suppose any security patches or security update, whatever be there, this managed by the AWS, right? And the key feature, automatic backup and software. patching, right? High availability with multiple availability zone, scalability with easy instance resizing, right? And see, actually what is the here the written is here is written the instance, right? Easy instance means the instance where the term instance came, right? So the instance came from the, actually let's understand the manual process. What When we will install a database, the requirement is the what, the requirement is our instance, means the server, right? So when we will go for the RDS, the AWS is automatically create a instance in the background, right? So instance means there is some specification is there, means how many CPUs, how many RAMs, right? So easy instance resizing, we can easily increase the our resources of the instance database, right? So security feature, right? And monitoring and logging, this thing as the key feature of our AWS RDS. Then supported database engine in AWS, we can see the MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server, and Aurora. Aurora is the AWS own database, right? You can see this the diagram of Aurora, Amazon Aurora. Amazon Aurora is the own database of AWS, right? And MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, Oracle, right? Then go next. Benefit of AWS RDS, right? What is the benefit? Reduce the administrative, right, work, means we don't worry about the backup thing, right? Because the AWS sorry the DB administrator, what will do, it will do the take the backup, right? And regularly monitoring this thing, the DB administrator do. So the reduce the administrative work, means the complete work is managed by the AWS, means the backup things, right? And security patches update and monitoring, these things will managed by the AWS. The high, then the high availability and durability, scalability, security, and compliance, automated backup and update. It also have the automated backup. This feature is also available in the AWS RDS, right? Then go to next use cases where you can use this AWS RDS, right? Web and mobile application. We can use the web and mobile application, e-commerce platform also, right? Data warehousing, business application. In this case we can use this RDS, right? And the most important thing is the disaster recovery, right? So what is the disaster recovery? See, our AWS instance our AWS RDS is kept in a availability zone, right? So is means there is a machine, maybe it will destroy in any region, right? So disaster recovery. So AWS provide a disaster recovery policy in the RDS also, right? So the disaster recovery, the multi availability zone deployment, right? This feature is also present in the AWS RDS. So what is multi availability zone? So multi availability zone deployment provide the high availability by the automatically replicating the database in a standby, right, instance located in a different availability zone, right? So what will happen, uh, let it be the one region, take it one region like the Mumbai region. In the Mumbai region we have three availability zone, right? So if we will go for the multi availability zone in the RDS, right? AWS RDS. Then what we will do? It will replicate our data in the different availability zone. Suppose one availability zone is destroyed, then it's automatically take the backup from another availability zone, right? It's create a replica automatically, replicating the data in a standby, right? So benefit, what is the benefit? Ensure automatic failure in case of hardware failure or other issue, minimizing the downtime. It will minimize the downtime, and it's automatically what happened? Suppose in availability zone 1 there is the data, there is our RDS is present, and the second replica is present in the availability zone B, right? When it's any region hardware failure or any region, the availability zone is destroyed, right? It's immediately connect to the availability zone B and G to minimize the downtime, or we can say our server or our database connect and working very finely, right? And the manual backup. Let's understand the manual backup. The manual backup and point in the time recovery. AWS allow you to create a manual backup of your data, enabling the point in time recovery to any second during your backup retention period. So you can also take the manually also take the data, right? Backup, take the backup. The benefit is providing the flexibility in restoring your data into a specific state in the past, useful for data recovery or rolling back united changes. Then let's go to the cross region replication. So cross region replication, actually this concept, the cross region replication, we have already studied in the S3 also, right? Means when there is a two region, right? That means the, let it be the Mumbai region and another one is the Singapore region. If I will store the data in the Mumbai region, it's automatically replicated to the Singapore region. This concept is the cross region replication, right? What is the benefit? Suppose the region in down, means the Mumbai region is down, then we can face the data from the Singapore region also, right? So in cross region replication enable you to create a standby database, right? It's a standby database in a different AWS region, offering definite additional release against the region wise outage. The benefit, what is the benefit? Enhancing the disaster recovery capability by providing the reducing across the region, ensuring data availability even if an entire AWS region become unavailable, right? So the first is the multi availability zone. In the multi availability zone, suppose one zone is unavailable, then there is a another standby, means another reason is there. But if the total region, right, if the total region means the Mumbai region is down, right, then in the cross region replication we have another standby region also there, right? So this is the all about the disaster recovery, and it's a very important thing. It will maybe ask you what do you mean by disaster recovery, right? So the main point is the multi availability zone, and second it will come like a cross region replication, right? So then the next is the snapshot management. So as we know the in the EC2 instance we can take the snapshot for backup, uh, kind of backup, not kind of backup, creating a backup. So this thing is also present in the AWS RDS. So database snapshot, right? So AWS RDS allow you to take manual snapshot to your database, capturing the entire data at a specific point in a time, right? The benefit, what will be the benefit? Useful for creating backup before making significant changes, performing experiment, or for compliance requirements, right? So anytime we can take the snapshot, or we can also automate this snapshot, right? Automatically it will means every 15 minutes or every 1 hour or every 2 hour, right? It automatically take the snapshot of our instance, sorry, of our database, right? Then creating and managing the manual snapshot, it also happen. We can create, we can take the manual snapshot, right? And automated snapshot, just I have told you, like we can set the time interval between every 2 minutes, sorry, every 30 minutes, every 2 hour, it will take the snapshot, and it's a chargeable, right? As the EC2 instance, it's the snapshot is chargeable, and here is also the uh, in the RDS it is also chargeable, right? So the second most important thing is read replicas, right? It's a very important thing. So interviewer may most of the interviewer will ask this question: what is replica in RDS? A replica means, sorry, read replica. A read replica is a read only copy, right? It's a read only copy of a DB instance, right? You can reduce the load on your primarily DB instance by routing queries from your application to the read replica. In this way you can easily scale out beyond the capability constant of the single DB instance for read heavy database workload, right? So read replica, actually go to this diagram and will better understand. So let's consider a our Flipkart e-commerce site, Flipkart application, right? So let you consider a Flipkart application, and this is the main database, right? We can see it's directly connected to our client, and we can read and write also, right? In this database we can read and write also. But in this you can see the this is the read replica, and it's connected to the main database, right? And it only you can see the read access, right? It only the read access. You will you have maybe doubt why it's required and why it's a read access, right? So let's understand. Though many of the people in e-commerce site just looking for just searching some item, right? Many of time just searching from item. For that time what will happen? It's only they read the data, not accessing data, like they did not just access, right? This just accessing the data, right? Don't write anything. Write anything means they don't do any order payment. This thing is the in the right access, right? The only search the item in the Flipkart account. This means that they only read the data here, right? So when the user, the client only read the data, then this instant or this database, the read replica will work that time. And when we will go to the payment option, means the right access, then the main database that time work, right? And this is the standby replication, right? No read or write access. This when this database will failure, it's automatically connected, and it's actually automatically it will replace this, right? Replace this database, right? And automatically one second database also created here for the standby, right? So you understood this thing? Actually this is the complete.
Actually, what happened when suppose in availability zone database has been go down.
Hmm.
So the standby database will be replace the
Right.
availability zone database,
Right.
and and
Let
also
me
standby.
let just a minute. Let me do. This is the availability zone A, and this is the availability zone B. Right. Suppose the availability. This is the A means the main database. Right. And the availability zone database is down. Right. Down, or any disaster happen or anything happen. Right. Then the database. B, it's the serving our server, right? And automatically the backup is created in the next availability zone, in the availability zone C, because the availability zone is completely damaged, or any reason, any hardware failure in the availability zone, means availability zone is completely absent, let it be absent. Then the our application, means the availability zone now serve the to our client, right? And next and second backup is standby backup is created in the availability zone C, right? Or
Okay, okay, got it, got it,
got it,
got
not? Because see, means hardware failure or anything happened, means what happened? The availability zone is completely down, right? So it's actually this is the main concept of a RDS, right? And okay, so let's go to the okay. So this is the our you can refer this documentation also. This is the many of things is there in the AWS documentation. Just wait, it's loading. Okay, you can refer this documentation. Actually, I told you the very brief idea, and I have taken all those things this document actually, right? So actually I'm sharing this link with you. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. So we will also refer this documentation. So Amazon RDS DB instance, right? Here is the definition. Actually, I have told you this thing also. A DB instance is an isolated database environment running in the cloud, right? It is basically building the blog of the Amazon RDS. A DB instance can be contain a multiple user created database, right? So this is the definition of DB instance. Is RDS create means one database is creating, means one instance is there in the backend. There is a instance is running, right? So you have up to 40 Amazon RDS database instance within the following limitation. These are the limitation of the our database instance, right? And all you will go to this documentation, right? And get many more things, right? So let's go to the AWS console. Okay, so in this AWS console, you simply search here RDS, and you will get here is also RDS is a recently visit, that's why it's showing the here RDS. If you in your case is not showing here, you can search it here, right? So just simple RDS, managed relational database, right? It's a very important thing. Managed means AWS will manage. If you'll go for a our on-premises or create a EC2 instance and then install a database, then we have to manage it. We have to take the responsibility of take the back of everything, all those things, right? So this is the dashboard of our uh, uh, AWS RDS, right? What it's written, price performance with up to 40% cost saving for input output. This is for Aurora, right? When we'll go for the Aurora, means it's actually promoting their database. Aurora database is the own database of Amazon, right? So let's go to this database, right? You can see there is a no database here, and you can simply click here, create database. Okay, so after clicking the create database, you will get this screen, right? Choose a database creation method. So there is a two method, like the standard create and easy create, right? In the standard create you have to set up everything, and the easy create it will give a template. So better go with the standard create, and go down you can see the engine option. You will select MySQL, PostgreSQL, IBM DB2, this thing will select, right? Or Microsoft SQL, right? So let's select DB, um, MySQL, and you can see here the engine version, it will reflect the engine version here, right? So you can select any version. Let me select this 5.7.42, right? And it give a message like MySQL engine version earlier than 8.0.17 does not support the new. Okay, this is the instance generation, right? So I am not to go for this, it's very costly. I'm go for the free tier, right? And you can see there is a production or dev environment, right? I think there is a sort test environment be also there. Where is the test environment? Let's select this. What will happen? Okay, you can see there is also test environment is also there, right? So template means the production, right? In the if you will go for the production, use default of for high availability and fast, and it will give the multi availability zone also. And if you will go for the dev and test, right? This instance is the instance for development uses, right? And in the free tier, it will deny the multi availability zone. Let's see actually in the production what option is there, right? So in the production, you can see the multi availability zone database instance is present, or you can select the single availability instance. It's depend upon us. If I select this, if I select the free tier, you can see this option is completely disabled, right? Let's first check with what option is there, right? So in the production, right, you can select these two options, then go to the setting, database instance identity. You can give it, it's actually not a database name, right? It's not a database name. Just for identification, I am giving like my db. You can give any name, right? And this is the admission, this is the name, you database name, right? You can automatically generate, or you can give it eight. It's written 8 character, only character, 8 character uh, password, right? And go down in this the instance configuration. In this instance configuration, you can see uh, this is the four virtual CPU, 16 GB RAM, right? And this is the two virtual CPU, 4 GB of RAM. You can take anything, right? You can take anything there. Then go down. Then the storage, right? In the storage, this is the storage, right? This is the provide the IOPS SSD one, right? And the here you can see the minimum value is 100. We can decrease also, right? We can decrease minimum value. The storage value is 100, right? In the, in where, in the production, right? In the production, if I'll go for the free tier, it will be 20, right? Let's check what option, then we will go for the, oh sorry, oh it's automatically reflected 20. Okay, the minimum value is 20 also. In where, in the uh, general purpose SSD. In the general purpose SSD, the minimum value is 20 here, right? 20 GB. Then go down, then the connection, don't connect to the EC2 computing resources. And okay, you can also go to this option and create a EC2 instance, or after create our database, you will go for to create a EC2 instance and connect to this database. Because when we will create this database, how we will connect to our database? So there is a requirement of one EC2 instance, right? And this is the VPC, right? uh, I'm taking the default VPC, and three availability zone is also there, right? And we can see the, it's a public access. Always select the public access, right? It's depend upon you. Hmm. If you don't give the public IP, then just click on the no. Okay, so then the VPC security group, I'm taking the default. And go to the advanced section. The default port number is also whitelisted, right? This is the MySQL default port number 3306, right? And the database authentication, here is the database authentication, right? And password, through the password we can authenticate our database. And the monitoring, if we will go for the enable the monitoring, we can see the 60 second, okay, 60 second, 1 second, you can monitor our database, right? And additional configuration, you can here database option, instance, initial database name, you can give the database name also there. Means when we will create the RDS, then automatically our database also created a database name also, right? And backup is enabled. Backup retention period 1 day, or we can set 2 days. This thing we can do here. And encryption is there, right? And you can see the price. If you'll go for this, I have to pay this USD, right? 21.74 USD. I will pay if I will go for this production, right? So I'm not creating this database, right? Okay, okay, I'm selecting the filter. Okay, I'm not creating this database. The next class we will go for the one PHP application deployment, right? And we will create the database and connect to instance and check whether our database is communicate with our application or not. This thing we will do in the next class, right?